Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And what we've got up here is the grant opportunity with Fort Worth South chapter of the Rotary Club. And so you could just Google, Fort Worth South Rotary, and their website will come up. And I scrolled down till it said, we have a grant opportunity. Turns out this is the one I did last year or earlier this year. I guess it was last year. Let me look at the date here. Yeah, it was the end of last year. We got this grant. The client I was working for got this grant, and it was for $2,500. And it's a real simple grant. I mean, it's the simplest application of any I've ever seen, and we got it, which was kind of nice. So I'm just going to talk you through this. Their deadline has already come and gone. This is a web page that's really outdated, but it's still out there, fortunately for you, for practice. We're going to use this for practice. And so I'm just going to read this to you. It says the Rotary Club of Fort Worth South welcomes grant proposals from nonprofit organizations that provide or assist with basic necessities to those in need, such as clothing, housing, furniture, food, medications, vehicle repair, etc. So etc. means it's pretty open, right? That's nice. They've got just sort of like, if you're helping people in lower income, if you're helping people with stuff, there's a grant for that. So it's not a big grant. I mean, but it's $2,500. That's a great place to start, right?
Yes,
You don't want to cut your teeth on $1 million federal grant. You just don't. So this is a great place to start. It's a local grant, very generous people, pretty easy to get. Okay. The deadline is there. Applicants must have 501c3 IRS status and primarily serve Tarrant County, right? Which, Changing Change would qualify there. So just imagine doing this on behalf of Changing Change. Okay. But it's just for practice because this deadline's already come and gone. They'll probably do another one this year, but it's not out there yet. Okay, so the Rotary Club of Fort Worth South is offering grants ranging from $500 to $2,500. The Rotary Club of Fort Worth South may choose to award all or any part of a grant request, depending on funds available and the decision of the Foundation Committee and the Board of Directors. The Rotary Club of Fort Worth South will not fund organizations that do not provide or assist with basic necessities to those who need, such as clothing, housing, furniture, food, medications, vehicle repair, etc. It will not fund membership fees or ticket sales. Will not fund church-related activities like Bible studies and stuff like that. Will not fund deficit budget expenses or retroactive funding, whatever that is. I guess like if your organization was in debt. Capital debt reduction, which means if you owned a building, if you had a mortgage on a building, they wouldn't pay for that. Or political or controversial projects or programs. That's pretty standard language there. And then requests should include, so now they're going to tell you how to request, okay? Should include a letter describing the organization's mission, the purpose for funding, the amount requested, those who would benefit, anticipated results from the program or project, and any other information deemed important to conveying your request. And then it says download the grant request guidelines by clicking here. So I'm going to click on that. And hopefully you can still see that on your screen. But it comes up, a PDF comes up, it says basically the same thing. And then it says, please limit your written request to 2 pages. I'm like, this is great. I mean, the whole thing, the letter and the information, total of 2 pages. It doesn't get any easier than that right there.
Sounds good to me.
And then it says you would also include a copy of your 501c3 tax exempt letter, most recent Form 990, which is what nonprofits turn into the IRS every year,
yes, sir.
and a program or agency budget. These should be grouped together and then emailed to thawkerrotary@gmail.com in a PDF file or files no later than Friday, December 16th, 2022 to be considered. Please include a contact name, physical address, email address, and phone number, which would be in your letter. That'd be in the cover letter. Additional information may be requested by the Rotary Club, including a face-to-face or site visit, which they never do. They usually just give you some money. Grant criteria and grant policy may be altered any time without notice if deemed appropriate by a vote of the board of directors of the Rotary Club Fort Worth. Grant recipients will be notified in January and invited to a club meeting to receive their grant, which is kind of nice. They have a big luncheon and you go and they hand you the check and it's a big photo opportunity, all that. Because my boss got to do that, this last year. So your assignment, sir, if you decide to accept it, is to do a mock setup of all this on behalf of Changing Chains for practice. You'll get a copy of their 501c3 letter, all that stuff.
Okay.
And I've been over some of this with you. I also know you to be an intelligent person. I'm thinking with these instructions, it's sort of like a treasure hunt, but I would like you to try to put all that together. Just over the next couple of weeks, however soon you want to do it, and then we'll just try to get as much of as you can without any help, and we'll see how you do. And if you're like real close, that's great. If you're way off, that's fine too, because this is sort of just throwing you into the deep end of the pool here, but with no pressure because it's not a real grant. So you can't screw it up. So I would love for you to just make your best effort to put that together. If that makes sense to you, if what I'm saying to you sounds like gibberish, then we have to have a different conversation. But if it makes general sense to you that you kind of got the general concepts, you think you can follow some instructions, you could put together a letter, you can attach some documents, then we're pretty close, right?
Yeah.
So how does that sound so far?
That doesn't sound bad at all. Sounds like it's a good gauge for what I would need, and
yeah,
yeah.
You can kind of get in the pool and swim around a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of like your life preserver. I'm not gonna let you drown or nothing, So
I ain't tripping. We're gonna figure it out.
Cool.
I ain't gonna let you drown. Yeah.
Okay, so all of that, you should be able to bird dog all of that by rewatching this video. I'm going to send you this video, and you'll be able to see the information I'm talking about, and so forth better. And you should be able to Google that, find it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's that. Any questions?
Well, that was the question I was going to ask. Like, are you going to send the website to me, or like, no? I got it. It's perfect.
Well, what you'll do is you'll just you'll Google Rotary Club of North South it'll just take you to the website, and then I think I scrolled down about 2/3 of the page on the homepage, and there was the opportunity for the grant.
Yeah, you said you're gonna send me the video so I can rewatch it. So yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. All right. So far, so good, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to show you something different now. That was part one. All right. So let me share my screen again. So I found this treasure trove of funders. Okay, so what you should see on your screen now is a web page called, and it says this up at the top, bankofamerica.com/philanthropic/search-4-grants. Okay, so when you go to this page, this is all the foundations. So wealthy people, a lot of wealthy people set up their own foundations to give away their money, but a bunch of them contract with Bank of America to do it for them. So Bank of America has a whole family of foundations of people with millions of dollars, right? Every one of these foundations has got millions of dollars. So I'm going to just show this to you on this video, and then I want you to go and look at it on your own time, and we can we can talk more about it on our next meeting. So what you do is you pull down this in alphabetical order is all the millionaires that they have in their family. I mean, there must be 150 of them. So those are all foundations that they have. Each one of them has its own criteria. But the other thing you want to do, it says area served. You want to select Texas, okay? Because a bunch of them are in Texas. So if you hit if you don't select a foundation name, but just select Texas and then hit search, it brings up all the ones in Texas, okay? Which is really nice. And I have written grant applications to most of these people, okay? Hadn't turned into a lot, but it's usually because they weren't really aligned with the client that I was working for. And so they put out here their deadline each year of when you have to have it in by, their program types, and the area served, which is Texas, okay? Or sometimes it says restrictions over to the right. They may have a preference in this case for Navarro County, Texas, which is Palestine area, or priority for Houston, Texas, which means they're probably only going to give to nonprofits in Houston. They will also give beyond that, but not maybe like 10%, 10 or 20% of the time. They might go outside of Houston for something important. But when they're targeted on a certain area, they pretty much stick to that, I've found. But you can see here's some for Dallas County, Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas. And so if they don't have any restrictions, that means they just will do anything in Texas. Okay. Permian Basin, Tarrant, here's one, primarily Tarrant County, the Helen Irwin Litauer Educational Trust. They focus primarily on Tarrant County, and they do arts, culture, humanities, education, food, agriculture, nutrition, health, housing and shelter, and human services. That's like everything. They just pretty much give to all causes, you know. And so what you would do when you find one like that, you click on it, and it comes up and tells you more details about that foundation. This one's called a trust, but it's a private foundation. Okay. Tells about the background, how it got there, who this lady was, the guidelines, and it says down here at the bottom, and that doesn't always say this. On this one, it says grants are typically between $1,000 and $25,000, and that's great to know. So then you can learn about, I think these people would give to us, and then you go over here on the right and click apply now, and this whole application thing comes up. So you have to create an ID, a sign in, and all that. I'm not going to go through all that right now, but I want you to familiarize yourself with the Bank of America portal, because there's a ton of money out there if you can tap into that, right? If you can get the hang of it. So also it says over to the right, down at the bottom of every page over on the right, says detailed foundation contact information can be found in the procedure. So you definitely want to click that. And that's a PDF file. I'm sorry, it's a Word document that I'm going to download to my desktop and then show it to you. This has all the good information in it. All right, so let me stop sharing that. And close that, close that, close that. Bring it up. Share my screen again. Okay, you should see this on the screen. This is a document that they put out that tells all about Bank of America, private bank, philanthropic solutions, grant making procedures, Texas office. Okay, so this is awesome. It tells all about how they do it, what the approach is, how the thing works, how to apply, and then it lists all of the foundations and tells their cycles. Some have rules like if you get a grant 1 year, you have to skip the next year. Some make you skip 2 years. And so any rules like that are out here. Some allow multi-year grants, some don't. And then some of them only they have rules they will only give to organizations with less than a $20 million budget, how to submit an application, and then lists of foundations. Here's the list again of all the Texas foundations. And basically what we saw on the webpage. And then at the bottom of that is who the contacts are for each of those. So there's several different people in that department at Bank of America, and they tell you which ones have which foundations. So Kelly Garlock, she's got these. Robert Fox has got those. Megan Bennett has got these. So if you sent in an application, Aaron, it would go in through the website. But if you want to follow up and see how it's going, then they're giving you the contact information for the right person. You get a hold of the right person, right? So that's just a wealth of information. Nobody else does it like Bank of America. And so it's about let's see, about a 14-page document. It really explains everything on how to do business with Bank of America for grants. I'm so glad I stumbled onto that because I never lack for funders to go ask money for, because they got all these different ones out there. And amongst that 100 plus foundations are out there, you're going to find several that match whatever criteria you're looking for, right?
Yep.
And then you got to look at the dates, like if you need money next month, but their deadline is in December, that's not very helpful, but you can, you work through all that. You can always find 3 or 4 foundations that at least fit the criteria and the timing and all that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I want you to, well, it'll probably take going over that a couple times to get that.
Oh, sure.
I want you to become, very knowledgeable about Bank of America Grant Solutions Department. And that's just a gold mine. It really is. Again, every one of those that was on there has millions of dollars, from a couple million up to maybe $100 million in that range. I mean, there's some filthy rich people in Texas. There really is.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think about all that?
I mean, that's a good pond to fish from. I like that.
Yeah. That's like money laying on the ground almost,
So like as far as like automated like automations, or I don't know how to say it, like storing everything, all the information like for your clients.
Right.
Let's say I'm going through Bank of America and I'm doing 5 different applications, but I gotta reach out or follow up with 4 different people. Like keeping like the follow-ups.
Right.
The grants
so
that I've applied for.
Many weeks ago, I did a session on how to use because I'm going to give you a free database that I wrote to keep track of all that. And we went through that, but that was like you were working and, I was mostly talking to your mom. But just trust me that we have a database that allows you to keep up with all that. And makes it very easy of like, who do I follow up with? What's their contact information, all that.
Okay. So like I gotta get a CRM or something now, or
well, my database is a CRM basically.
That's all I was thinking about.
Yeah. I'll show you all that next time. It's a killer database, it really is. It took me years to develop it. If you do this, and you get some opportunities and you keep everything updated in the database, you will rock this thing tremendously. I mean, you'll be on top of everything. It'll make you look like a rock star.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, the organization. So you're able to pull things up and recall things at the click of a button.
Yeah, and you can just tell what do I have to do next, and who do I do it with, and what's the next deadline, or what did I do last time? It's all in there. So I gave you a lot to think about.
Say it again.
I gave you a lot to think about.
No, for sure. I got a lot to look over. So I got a mock grant with the Notary Club.
Yeah,
Then I gotta
the
go
Rotary,
through-
the Rotary Club South. Yeah,
Rotary Club, yeah. Then I got to look through Bank of America,
yeah,
rewatch this video, look through Bank of America, see what they got going,
yeah.
see the matches. Yeah, it's cool.
Awesome.
I think it's a good little, yeah, I think it's some good momentum.
I think that'll keep you busy for a little bit. And but you know, the real test is, you know, how you do on the grant application. And just assume you're doing one for changing change. You know, use their letterhead, their address, all their information. It's not going to go anywhere except to me, but I think that'll give you some great practice.
Okay. I mean, I do too. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and you can call me 10 if you got questions. Call me 10 times in a row. It's fine, totally fine.
Okay. Let's see.
But it'd be cool. Well, the coolest outcome would be you go away for like 8 days. I never hear from you, and you come back and everything's there. You know, that'd be awesome.
That's what I'm. That's what I hope.
That should be what you aspire to. If you need lots of help along the way, that's fine too.
Well, if the first part of it should be just me gathering all the data and collecting everything that needs to be collected before I
Yeah.
fill out the application.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it a bunch of times, and I have all the data. Now
Right.
it's
But they're not asking for a
Finally.
lot. They're just kind of asking for like, what's your budget? Who are you going to help? I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 questions in there. That's pretty good. I've sure seen a lot worse than that, you know. So
okay. That makes okay. So I was thinking like maybe I need like the mission statement and
well,
all
okay,
of that.
so
this is what they asked for only.
yeah, but you know, just read it carefully and thoughtfully, because the cover letter, they were asking for a letter and then some information. So really, the first page of the 2 pages is the cover letter. You know, dear Rotary Club, we're so glad for this opportunity. You'll find attached all the information you requested. We are so grateful that you are being so generous. Blah blah blah. You know, some cover letter. And then the second page is going to be the stuff they asked for. And they wanted to limit it to 2 pages. So you have to use a small font or something, you know, whatever it takes. Just meet their requirements exactly like they stated. You know?
Okay. But they're only asking for 5 things, so those 5 things should be more than 2 pages.
They better not be. You got to make it fit.
No worries.
Yeah. So I don't know how this comes across to you, because to me, this is so clear, right? Because I do it all the time. But for somebody who's new, I have no idea if this makes sense or not. But we're going to try. I mean, the way to try is to try, right? The way to get started is just get started.
Yeah. Yeah, get to the check and see what over.
Yeah. I mean, you're a smart guy. You're a problem
Makes
solver.
sense.
I think you're going to get right to it.
Yeah, I do a little resourceful, that's all. Yeah. So they expected in like next week. What is today? Saturday? By next Saturday?
Oh, I mean, you could take 2 weeks if you need to. I don't know your schedule. There's no pressure
Just
here.
get it done. Okay.
Yeah,
let's get it
That's
done.
on you. Totally up to you.
But the faster you work, the faster you get paid.
I don't think anybody's getting paid on this one. So